And we're back
We
again
are
in the
back.
hot seat.
Mhm.
Duval, here's the Easter edition.
Easter edition. Crack open the egg. See what's inside. Bunny.
What are you? Oh, interesting that you mentioned Bunny because
Oh yeah.
I'm going to mention a movie called Dust Bunny. So stick around for that one.
Was that on purpose or
Duval.
was that totally just?
I was just totally.
What is it?
You said Bunny, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Let me just quickly plug that one in.
Okay.
Listen, this is the Easter edition. So, but hang on a second, hang on, Deval. Let me go back up. Episode
Mm-hmm.
Easter edition episode, Deval 379. Take it away.
379. Turn water into wine. Who's done that before? And who rose again in Easter, as they say.
This is, you know what?
Rose again.
That was pitch perfect.
You go. You
Water
go.
into. Come on, man. Give Deval.
There you go.
Listen, if you're not
Imagine someone can do
clapping,
that today. Imagine someone can do that today. Boy, they
man,
make some
they
money.
would be
Imagine that on
they,
TikTok.
the Messiah.
Water to wine, guys. Here, get your water to wine. Blame me,
All the
innit?
winos will be like, "What? Seriously, man, you'll be a Messiah." Hang on. I'm surprised, Deval. Haven't we? Why hasn't one emerged?
What,
Someone
water to wine
emerged.
kind of guy.
Yeah. Why haven't a Messiah emerged? Or has there been, and we don't
They'll
know
be
about
taken
it?
out. The governments won't have that
No.
because the governments will
Too
lose
much
their
power.
power. Yeah, exactly. Shift of focus. They'll be wiped out. Simple as that.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And there is, and then what you're going to be left with is just the Flixters.
Exactly. Just us telling you what's going on with the movies and streaming as we do every week, where you can catch us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook,
Wicked plug. And where else,
YouTube,
Deval?
YouTube, X, all the usual places. Facebook,
Usual
I said that
places.
already. Yeah.
Deval, just get into shout outs. Come on.
Okay, got a couple of quick shout outs this week. First shout out goes to Fangirl on YouTube. So Fangirl 2103 on YouTube. You know what? YouTube is a good place for people to chat. I'm realizing that, and I'm going to utilize that a lot more. But Fangirl is a massive fan, massive fan of Harry Potter, because we put out a post about Harry Potter coming back and stuff like that. Massive fan on that one, and so is also Avalonius. Avalonius, yeah, Avalonius on YouTube said that right. And the basic Avalonius was saying that the show will be based on the original piece of the books.
Okay.
And it's not going to be like each season's not going to be like based on one book, but it's going to be on the original. So it'd be slightly different, I guess, to what we saw in the movies. I think maybe have more time to go through characters and stuff like that. But either way, they can't wait, like a lot of people as well. We put out this post on even like on YouTube and Instagram, lots of views on there. So please keep engaging with us, keep chatting, tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like, and stuff like that. Last shout out goes to Miami Community Cinema on TikTok.
Wicked.
And Miami Community Cinema on TikTok is really looking forward to The Wizard of the Kremlin, which got also quite a lot of views because people are interested in finding out a bit more about Vladimir Putin. Going to be played by Jude Law. So look out for that one as well. And Paul Dano's in that one as well. I'm sure Tarantino's going to be really watching that one closely.
It's true. I was just about to say that. It's true. After getting cussed, let's just see what happens, man. Because it's so funny. Now, all right. Just before we quickly move on, Deval, what's the likelihood of you watching Harry Potter this December?
5%. I'm not going to watch it. Let's be honest. Yeah, I'm not interested in it. I'm sure it's good, but I've never seen the movies. I'm not really interested in Harry Potter.
You know what? I reckon people don't have to watch the movies to watch this.
Okay. You're trying to get me to watch it? I'm still not going to watch it.
Let's watch one episode and let's review it, because Fangirl 2103 and Avalonius will probably want us to. Let's wait. Okay, let's wait until December.
I'm being closed-minded, aren't I? Let me be open, like an egg.
Yes, like a nice big Easter egg.
Yes, I'll be open. Okay.
All right. Okay. Cool. All right. Thanks for the shout outs there. Let's get into movie news. Let's kick things off with a piece of horror news. Now, Sam Raimi, Devaldo, we just saw Sam Raimi direct. We just saw his movie. This is the bit where you fill in the blanks.
Send help.
Send help. We
Yeah,
just
still
saw
send
it.
help.
We go back to 3 or 4 episodes ago. We just watched it, reviewed it. It was a good laugh, and he's not quitting. He's making more horror stuff, horror comedy ish.
Yeah, yeah. Sam Raimi is not quitting. He's coming back for more. Drag Me to Hell was a really, really crazy, crazy good
Mm.
film, horror comedy, just like his style, basically. That came out in like 2000
Years ago,
2004, I want
2000
to
and
say. I'll double
forever.
check that. Yeah, so he's basically going to be doing a sequel on Drag Me to Hell. It's basically Drag Me to Hell 2.
Mm.
And the first one was about a sort of, I don't know, what can you call her? A witch? That was 2009, by the way, Drag Me
She
to Hell.
curses
It's
it.
about, yeah, the witch put a curse on someone,
Mm.
and that curse followed them around. It was quite spooky and stuff like that.
Mm.
And then eventually, it basically drags you down to hell.
Yes.
Yeah, so the film before starred Alison Lohman, Justin Long was in it as well,
Yeah, I remember.
and the scene where the person gets dragged down actually to hell, I found that really scary, like
It's
really
the
scary, because
thought.
yeah, you just see it. And so it looks like Justin Long will be the person that is going to be the lead in this one, because in that one he was the boyfriend or partner of the
Mm.
lead actress Alison Lohman, and
He played a
he
bit of an
witnessed her.
asshole, wasn't he?
Yeah, no, I don't think he was,
I
but he
can't remember.
witnessed her. He witnessed. He was. I don't think he believed her,
Okay.
but he witnessed her getting dragged down. And if you saw the fright in his face,
Mm.
because the film had a lot of comedy, but that
It
part
was
there,
on a. It was on a tube station or something, wasn't it? Or so,
yes, yes,
yeah.
yes, train station, and yeah, that's just that was a crazy scene. So yeah, let's see
Mm.
what Sam Raimi can do with the sequel.
Exactly. All right, let's move on. I want to speak quickly, just briefly about this one. Now, you recently watched the latest Scream 7 movie, and just recap, Devaldo. I mean, what did you just recap? What did you think about the Scream 7 movie?
I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was going to be
Mm.
shit. It wasn't
Mm.
shit. It was a lot of, it had the Scream ingredients, but the kills I say were closer to Saw rather than
Mm.
just a regular Scream slasher. People were
Yeah.
getting cut in half and chopped up really bad. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's all
yeah.
right.
And then one of the questions that I had was, did they leave it open? And you were like, trust me, they're
Yes,
gonna
yeah,
come back.
yeah.
Well, it's being confirmed that there is gonna be a Scream 8. And well, the thing that surprises me is Scream 7, the seventh installment of the whole franchise, was the biggest to date. So out of all
Mm.
those movies, the seventh one took more money than all the other ones. So
Serious. Oh, wow.
serious, man. It took over 200 million worldwide. So
Mm,
when you're taking in 200 million and the budget, say, is, I don't know, 30, 40 million or 50 million, of course, they're going to
mm.
come back for more. So, yeah, there's going to be a Scream 8. So how they left that seventh one, clearly, Divaldo, means they can bring them all back again.
Yeah, money talks, man. And like you say, if the money was right, if they can get some more of that money, come on now. The shareholders aren't going to say no. Come on now.
No way, seriously.
Mm.
So go, yeah. So if you haven't seen Scream 7, go check it out. You'll find it on Paramount. Will be on some streaming
Yeah, soon.
platform pretty soon. All right, let's move on. Let's speak about Marvel. Geez, Deval, the days when we used to speak about Marvel, like on every episode. We haven't spoken about Marvel in a long
Mm,
time. But tell
mm.
us about BP3.
Yeah, Black Panther 3. Basically, from what we understand, we're getting some little tweets and little whispers, but we understand that Black Panther 3 is going to feature a massive battle with aliens. Not sure which aliens, where they're from, or anything like that. But we also understand that there's also going to be the introduction of the Savage
Savage
Lands.
Lands. This is mad.
The Savage Lands. I mean, if you remember the animation of the
Yeah,
Savage Lands in the animation of
X-Men.
X-Men. Yeah, and oh my gosh, the Savage Lands is a place that is a bit like how Wakanda used to be. It was unknown to the rest of other humans. It was on Earth, but it was kind of separated, and it was just prehistoric. Just
Mm.
lots of craziness going on there, dinosaurs and stuff. And if you're there, it's just like it's a long day. So if that gets introduced in with Wakanda and aliens, there's a lot going on.
Yeah,
So
people. I
looking
reckon the
forward to
fans.
seeing that.
Yeah, the fans will
Mm,
be like, "Oh yeah, man, they've introduced something like, especially like from the animation and everything." So
yeah,
that'd be interesting.
yeah.
Um, what did we say? Who do we say is going to be the? We don't know who's going to be the next Black Panther, do we?
Well, people are saying it's going to be Damson Idris. It hasn't been
Yeah.
fully confirmed, but it's looking like it's leaning towards that direction. I
Mm.
see him being a good, yeah, being a good Black Panther. I reckon.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It'd be good. It's going to be great. Can't wait for it. Now let's speak about this. Let's speak about Ryan Coogler. Let's speak about X Files. What do we think is happening with this? Because there's obviously a lot of buzz around this TV show. And remember, Deval, we recently, maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, we got the reboot after there had been, I don't know, a hiatus of God knows how many years. So we did get a kind of reboot, but now we're going to get a reboot of a reboot or something new.
yeah, we're getting new. So Ryan Coogler he's on a roll. We saw him
Mm,
pick up awards for Sinners. Obviously, talking
wicked.
about him with X Files and stuff like that. But also he's really interested in this kind of genre. He said it. He's like he grew up in this kind of stuff as we did as well.
Yeah, man.
And from what we hear, they've actually released the main cast. So Himesh Patel, who's a
Yeah.
British actor, British Asian actor, who's we saw him in many stuff. We saw him in Tenet.
Yeah, he was in
And there's
that.
quite a small role in there, but still in Tenet. Seen him in like a bunch of other stuff. He was in EastEnders. If anyone from the UK
Yeah.
knows of that TV show,
People
that's
come
where he
out of
sort of
EastEnders.
that's where he cut his teeth. He was in Yesterday. He's been
Mm,
in a bunch of stuff. Black Mirror, you name it.
mm.
So he's going to be like the, I guess, Mulder
Right.
in X Files.
Interesting casting
Like
decision.
I say, hasn't been confirmed, but I think he's going to be the Mulder.
Mm,
And then Scully is looking like she's going to be Danielle Deadweiler. She's a African American actress,
mm.
and she's been in a bunch of things as well. The Harder They Fall. She was in Till, so the story of Emmett Till. She was in
Right.
Carry On, so one of the main actors in Carry On, starring alongside Taron Egerton.
Taron Egerton, yeah.
Yeah, been in a bunch of stuff as well. So yeah, so it looks like they could be the leads. I'm not sure how this is going to
Mm,
be compared to the old school '90s X Files. If it's going to be the same or slightly different, or
yeah.
who knows anyway. But either way, it
Let,
should be decent.
let's
So
hope they let's just hope they get the theme tune. Let's hope they bring in back that theme
oh
tune, man. The
yeah,
classic. It's
exactly.
like they
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Interesting casting decisions. There was he was in this. I was watching this thing on Amazon Prime called Bait. He turns up. Himish Patel turns up in
Yeah,
that as well. He's in
yeah.
there. He was in this movie, which I thought was an interesting casting, where he plays a sheriff. Um, uh,
Oh,
and it's
Station 11 or something, or Station, some sort of like end of the world kind of film, isn't it? Or show. Is that the one?
the one that I was going to say. It's got Gordon Jason Levitt or
Oh,
Lovett.
okay. Oh,
They play
yeah.
two sheriff and they come across money and then they accidentally kill
Oh,
someone.
that one. Yeah, I can't remember what it's
Yeah,
called, but
yeah.
like a comedy kind
It's
of.
kind of like a comedy game. So
Yeah.
yeah, interesting. You can see he's kind of like, coming up
Mm.
and, so it'd be good to see what happens there. All right. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Ryan Coogler, X-Files. It's going to be great. Remember, folks, keep it locked with the Flixters and we're bringing more movie news. But let's get on to new on streaming. Now, Deval, before we speak about this, have you ever been in a situation where you've had a very, very bad feeling that something is bad is going to happen? Have you ever been
Yeah, I
in a
had
situation
that.
like
You know,
that?
it's funny. I actually had that about, I don't know, about.
What is it? Is it
Uh,
in a gut? Is it a gut like what is it a gut feeling or what or
in fact, do you know what? I call it, well, people call it the sixth sense,
Sixth Sense? Yeah, yeah.
isn't it? And I've had it many times, and it's like you can't explain
Mm,
how you get it, but you just know when you've got it. And I
yeah,
think it's a collection. It's like the Spidey sense, it's a
yeah.
collection of all your senses plus the other one that we've devolved from as
We haven't
humans,
tapped
because
into.
now we lean into technology so much, but we've got that sensory perception to basically keep alive. Yeah,
Mm.
to keep alive, and that's something that we're just edging away from. But yeah, I get it all the time, not all the time, but sometimes. And
You get it.
sometimes nothing happens, but you should sometimes trust your gut. That's why I say that trust your gut. You know.
But trust me, man. This is yeah. And look, that the reason why I ask that is because there's a new show, there's a new series out on Netflix called Something Very Bad Is Going to
Mm,
Happen. And you know what, right? When watching this show, this every single bit of it, there's just like you're waiting. There's like behind every corner or something, you're just like, oh my gosh, this is just like it's so anxiety inducing, like something bad's gonna happen. Like the weird characters in this, and there's this, is she weird or are the people weird? Is she thinking this? Is it in her mind and everything? You know what? This is a really good show.
Yeah, really good show. On Netflix, this is about what 8 episodes, I think it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, eight
yeah.
episodes. I've seen 2 or 3 so far.
I've seen 2 episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, so just a quick gist of it is basically couples getting married, and it starts off at their sort of marriage wedding day, and then it
Mm.
sort of goes back to say, okay, 4 days before the wedding, 5 days before the wedding, and it shows the lead up towards the wedding, and before that whole lead up, really weird things happen, strange
Weird.
things happen. It's setting you up for the title. Something bad is going to happen. Something very bad is going
Mm.
to happen, and the show kind of keeps setting you up, keeps setting you up, keeps setting you up. It's very, very patient, but then you think you know what's going to happen, but obviously we don't know yet because we're only a few episodes in. But
Mm.
6.8% on IMDb out of 13,000 ratings, so it shows it's not too bad.
Mm.
It's got a good pedigree with the makers. I think someone said it's some of the makers are linked to Stranger Things as well.
Oh,
Don't know how
maybe.
true that is, but we'll see. But yeah, so yeah, it looks interesting. I think it's one to really stick out and find out what is going to happen.
Happen.
So
Yeah, go check it out. That's out on Netflix. Let's do trailers. Now, there's a few here. I haven't seen a lot of these, but I know
yeah.
some of these are out there. This first one I was reading about today. Now, this, Divaldo, is this is kind of like almost like a remake or kind of like a reimagining of the original Faces of Death, which I do remember from the
Mm,
1980s. And
mm,
that was kind of like a one of those snuff movies, like kind of oh, hey,
mm,
this shows an actual killing, like an actual death. But I mean, it was like word of mouth type of a thing.
mm,
And what they did in that one, they interspersed it with real life footage. So what
mm,
you thinking there were scenes which were real, but I think a lot of the stuff was all just kind of it was all fake and everything. But
mm.
they sold that as, oh, this is a real stuff movie. This is where you could see people dying,
Mm,
real people dying, and this is a remake of that movie.
mm. And the one you mentioned, the original one, it says that around 60% of the film, the original, was made from real depictions of
Real, yeah,
accidents, animal killings,
yeah.
autopsies, Holocaust, suicides, all of that. But this is the new version. This one basically, I like the spin on it. Basically, someone is hired by an internet company to look at the internet, look at all the videos that are on there, and to look at gruesome videos and take them down
Mm,
because in this film it's done by real people, not just AI. So people actually got to go on there, watch videos for hours and hours and hours and hours, really horrific
gruesome
content,
shit. Yeah,
and they take it down. What does that do to their mind? Messes them up. This
yeah.
person now starts seeing a string of snuff videos where someone is
Mm,
actually putting them out there and saying, if people want this to happen, they need to like it, like it, like it, and stuff. So it's getting people to watch it and almost dictate what happens to this person.
yeah,
And then it starts to happen to people. It's almost like it's happening, happening, and it gets closer and closer to the people in this film that we're
mad.
following. So then
Yeah.
they get involved with it. So yeah, it looks interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and you know what? The funny thing is that, well, sorry, I shouldn't say funny, but there have been incidents where kids have filmed themselves doing shit, and then
Mm,
they've
mm,
had
mm.
massive accidents, man.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah, yeah,
bad. This
yeah,
is, and this, so
exactly.
this stuff really does happen. Yes, that one's called Faces of Death. Go check that one out. This one, I didn't see this one, but you can break it down for me, Devaldo. This is Supergirl. This is the next big DC um, movie. James Gunn connected. Although, hang on, did he direct this? No, he hasn't
No,
directed this,
didn't
has he?
direct it.
No.
No, no. But this isn't the sort of newer version of the trailer, Supergirl. But you get a bit more, fleshes out her character a bit more. Also, the person that she's sort of running around with, trying to help. She's sort of supporting another character who's trying to get something done in the film. So it kind of gives you a bit more, but it doesn't give you enough to say that this is going to be a great film. Which I think a lot of
Mm,
people are saying, especially from the feedback from the test screenings, that this is not going to be that great.
right.
Time will tell. It looks like a James Gunn film. It feels like a James Gunn film, but it's not directed by him. But obviously,
Mm.
he's executive producer,
It's got
so
his stamp on it.
it will have his stamp. So this is coming out in June, so you're going to see a bit more trailers and press and stuff like that. They're going to try and hype it up because they need to make their money back. DC is not in a great place regarding their
Ka-ching.
films and stuff. So yeah, this one looks entertaining. You get a bit more. I'm not going to spoil it too much if you ain't seen it, but it gives you a bit more
Mm,
about her character, about her world that was, that was taken away, her parents and stuff like that.
mm.
So it's very sympathetic to her cause and then why she is how she is. She's just like, drinking and going a bit crazy. So see it for yourself and let us know what you think on that one.
Yeah, reminds me a bit of Hancock.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
All right. Now, the next movie, we've spoken about this before. There was a teaser trailer that we spoke about, but I'm assuming this is the full on trailer now. And Devout, I haven't seen this. This is called Backrooms. Tell us about
Yeah.
this.
So Backrooms, this is the proper trailer now, so you get to see a bit more. So you get to see Chiwetel Ejiofor walking around the back rooms, and there's also another lead actress as well who goes through like a bit of a portal. There's a
Mm,
wall, and like a drawn door, and she walks through it, and she's like,
mad.
"What the heck?" And it shows people going through, like exploring it and testing it out and stuff, and people are a bit
Mm,
bloodied, and you don't get to fully see what's following them. But as you've seen from the YouTube original from Kane
yeah,
Pixels, is that his
man.
name?
That's his
You get
name.
to
Yeah.
see like a
There's a
bit. You
whole
get to see
universe. There's a
a
world.
whole universe. So it's that on a big screen basically, and
Mm,
lots of people are looking forward to this. So this
I am.
one is coming out in May, and yeah, this trailer's getting lots of views as it
Yeah,
would.
next month. Next month.
Yeah,
Okay, so now the next one, Cape Fear. Now I remember the Robert De Niro and Nick Nolte movie, which was a remake of one that was made even before that. So is this anything to do with that one? Is this a remake of that one?
exactly. Same thing. Cape Fear is a remake of the original. That is a really, really great film.
Mm.
This one stars now Amy Adams, Javier Bardem, and Patrick Wilson.
Oh,
Javier Bardem is the Robert De Niro updated version. He
he's
wants payback. He wants payback. In the trailer, it seems like Amy Adams and Patrick Wilson have done something to wrong him, and he
mm,
wants payback. And he's coming through, slowly getting to them. He looks like he's crazy. He's got lots of tattoos like Robert De Niro had,
yes.
and it looks like they are in for some hurt because they did him dirty. And this is coming out on Apple TV, so this is not in the cinema. So this is coming to streaming on the
Wicked.
5th of June,
Okay.
2026. So
Yeah. I'll give
look
that a
out for this
watch.
one.
Yeah. Now also, and this one's out on Netflix. I think it's Netflix because I saw this pop up. Ronaldinho, the one and only. And yeah, man, look, if you're a football fan, I mean, I would probably say, even if you're not a fan of football, watch this guy, like, because he brings the light,
Mhm.
he just brings so much fun and
Mm,
joy.
mm, mm,
And
mm.
I would be really interested. Because, the whole thing where he got sent to jail, he spent
Yeah,
time in
yeah, yeah.
prison and everything like
Mm.
that. I really want to get to know exactly what happened, why that was. And I wonder if this does it, Deval.
Yeah, yeah. This is a Netflix documentary, and I agree with people. Once they've finished their careers, have a documentary. I don't agree with all this stuff with like people like Neymar still playing football, documentaries. Everyone's got documentary while they're still playing. Nah,
Mm,
say it all when you've done.
yeah,
Ronaldinho Gaucho is for me one of the
mad.
best footballers that ever lived. He
Mm,
brought joy. He's skillful. He lit up the world when he played. And this documentary tells about his upbringing, ups and downs, the things he won. He's partying. Obviously, he
wow.
partied a lot.
Trust me.
When you
Yeah.
work hard, you got to play hard. And you know what? I don't blame him because he gave us a lot when it comes
Yeah.
to football. So this is coming out on Netflix really soon. I know people a lot. People all over the world know him. Even people that don't know or like football know
Mm,
about him. Ronaldinho, Little Ronaldo, that's what he means. So he
yeah.
came through slightly after R9, Ronaldo, the real
Yeah.
Ronaldo. So they called him Little Ronaldo because he was just as skillful,
Just as
but
skillful. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
different. So that's why he's called Ronaldinho, little.
Yeah.
Anything Dino means little. So there you go.
I love it. I love it. All right. Yeah. So go check that one out. And then the last one, Deval, Jerry West, the logo. Now tell us about this.
This one again, another sporting one. So this is about the NBA. So Jerry West was a massive player in the NBA back in the day. I'm talking about back in the day
Mm,
before Jordan and people like that. And he was just top player. And
mm.
people say that, oh, the NBA's got that logo of the man like running with a basketball. People are
Oh,
saying, oh, is this the guy from the logo? Like, did they use him as the logo because he was that good? Did
wow.
he? I don't know, but people are saying that. But anyway,
Okay.
this looks like his playing career, his career as a sporting director, and
Mm.
stuff like that. So he even brought through. I heard he brought through players like Kobe Bryant and people like
Oh
that.
wow.
And like he was not just obviously after his playing career, he did lots more, and lots of
Mm.
the players that we know of today and are superstars and stuff. He was involved with bringing them through and guiding them and stuff like that. So again, another sporting documentary, one worth watching when it comes out real
That's
soon.
it.
I believe that's
It's
going to
good.
be on Netflix as well. I think,
Yeah,
yeah. So,
they're really good. I think they do kind of a lot of the good sports direct
mm.
documentaries. They do bring a lot of that good stuff on there. So go check that one out, folks. All right, okay, those are your trailers. Go check them out. And if you do like them, if you do watch the movies, let us know so we can speak about it. Or you just write a comment and we can read out your comment on the next show. All right, let's do anniversary corner. So this is from 10 years ago, 2016. The Now this doesn't sound too good. The Wailing. And when I think of wailing, I think of like crying, of just someone just like crying and crying and crying and something eerie about it, Devaldo.
You know what? You're totally right because there's certain words that describe certain things that I think are beyond
Mm.
the surface. Because when you think of like a snake, you think of a snake, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. A snake is a
Yeah.
snake,
Like
but then when you say serpent,
serpent. There's something
it's
else, a
deeper.
different connotation.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Would you rather be in a pit of snakes or a pit of serpents?
Serpents.
Do you know what I mean? It's like when someone says, "Oh, they cried or they wept."
Wait,
Do you
they
know what I mean?
wept.
When you
Oh
cry, you can hit your
man.
finger, cut your leg. Oh, I was crying. But when you weep,
Yeah, it's
it's
just
so,
something pain, something
it's
deeper inside, right?
so
So when you say to me the wailing, oh man,
exactly.
there's some pain going on.
This is a Korean supernatural horror film. So
Mm,
basically, soon after a stranger arrives in a little village, it's always a little village,
yeah.
a mysterious sickness starts spreading. Yeah. So a policeman is drawn to the incident and is forced to solve the mystery in order to save his daughter. This sickness basically spreads and it just
Oh,
ravages people. This
yeah.
disgusting, ill
Mm.
sickness. And in amongst this, there's a wailing spirit that makes itself known by a certain sound and a certain presence that once it becomes within your vicinity, then kiss it
And
goodbye.
kiss it, yeah, exactly. And
Yeah,
let me get it. You probably yeah. You don't if you hear you don't want to hear the wailing.
you don't want to hear the wailing. No, no, you don't want to hear the wailing. This is also I think this has also come from, I don't want to get misquoted here, but these are things that people believe in real life. Even parts of
Mm,
Brazil, this kind of thing was also meant to be a thing as well.
yeah.
So like this, yeah, mate.
Isn't it weird though? Isn't it
Mm-mm,
weird that about like across cultures, across
mm,
continents, and across nations, there's this. They have these stories. They kind of resonate with people. Like the La Llorona. They have that.
mm,
They have that in a lot of kind of. If you hear the La Llorona, no,
mm-mm.
I'm
No,
staying away, man. I
this
don't
film had a.
care if it's like
It's
which.
it, Goat Man. In
Oh,
America they have Goat Man.
there you go.
In the Middle East they have, I can't remember what it's called, but
Jinn.
there's another word for it as well, of half man, half beast.
Oh yeah,
Look at the Bigfoot in America. Is
yeah.
it Asia? It's called
Sasquatch.
the Yeti. You got
Yeah,
Sasquatch. You got all kinds of things. I mean, this film budget $6.5 million
yeah.
budget.
Wow, nothing.
Gross worldwide 49 million.
There you go.
So
There you go. And you know
there you
what?
go.
That leads us nicely because we're going to speak about one of the main movies that we speak about. But you know what? Right, we always obviously focus on the big budget Hollywood
Mm,
movies,
about
and
that.
once in a while, the Flixters, we love to just kind of throw in a movie that maybe people aren't keeping an eye on. Couple of months ago, th- I, there was a movie that I spoke about. It was a Korean movie. And listen, Devaldo, I got to just say one thing straight off the bat. I love Korean movies.
Hmm.
There's something artful. And let's not forget, Korean movies, they win Oscars.
They do. They do.
Parasite.
They do.
Did you just there's something masterful about the way that the Korean put cinema together, and there's a whole host of Korean movies that I love and cherish and everything. But what you just mentioned there was great, the Wailing Korean movie, and it leads us nicely into this movie that we're going to be speaking about. Which when I first saw, I added it to my watch list, and I just thought, what the hell is this? What's Humint, like Humint? It was just a weird kind of sort of a name. And then I thought, okay, when this comes out, I'm going to watch the trailer and I'm going to give this a go, right? But human is an actual word, Deval. This is an actual, the intelligence service, they actually have this, which is short for, so human is short for human intelligence.
Makes sense.
So you and I, if we were recruited as spies, which we could easily do, like you and I, we could do it, right? We could blend in. With your accents.
Me blend in, but go to Russia. How am I going to blend in as a spy in Russia? Yes,
mate,
I have the accent.
When we listen, you with your accent, when you do your Vladivostok accent with your Russian, trust me, man, you don't know nowadays. Seriously. But human intelligence is that thing, right, about gathering intelligence, speaking to people, blending in.
Yeah.
It's about true. Kind of, your next door neighbor. You could, be spying on your neighbors and everything. So this whole movie is about this kind of this connection that humans have and spy agencies have, specifically the South Koreans. The agent, and you know what? This guy, he's got a lot of charisma. This guy called Zo In Sung. He plays kind of this guy called Manager Zo. He's kind of like the lead spy. He's running an operation where he's gathering intelligence, and it involves the North Koreans, it involves the Russians. So you've got this kind of three-way dynamic going on, and it's very kind of relevant today because we know in the world right now, the Russians, they are obviously pallies with the North Koreans. There is this kind of, Vladimir Putin and Kim Il-jung, they've kind of had these, back and forth. And the South Koreans, obviously, their beef with the North Koreans goes back, obviously. Why? I remember watching a movie called JSA, called Joint Security Area, classic movie, Devaldo, where one person from the South Korea gets left behind in North Korea, then gets indoctrinated, and then there's this kind of whole thing that goes on. It kind of reminded me about that as well. So this guy, Manager Zo, he's trying to recruit people to kind of get information. They're North Koreans, they're females, they've been used as kind of sex slaves, sex workers. They're being shipped over to Russia. They're crossing borders, and he's trying to recruit them so that then they can give us the intel, give the South Koreans intel on the North Koreans and on the Russians as well. But at the beginning of the movie, there's one person that he's trying to recruit. The operation goes badly wrong, and this affects him. And then we fast forward. He's now has to go to Russia. He's trying to recruit another person so that who can then become a double agent and then just kind of do all these, supply information. When you go online and you read kind of some of the comments and stuff, people are calling this a classic. I don't know. I wouldn't call it if I'm comparing it to the movies like JSA, and if I'm comparing it to kind of some of those other classics that I've seen, I wouldn't say it's kind of as, up there. But the main guy, Manager Zo, I mean, you can't beat the charisma, the coolness of some of these people. The way that they light their cigarettes, the way that they walk, and they've got the cool, man.
The they have it.
They have got it down to a T, right?
I will say, because you recommended this film and I had no idea what it was or anything. I thought, let me give this film a chance and watch it. And I wasn't sure what I was going to be watching. I wasn't sure if it was going to be a spy film or it was going to be a fighting film, because the first like a really powerful scene when he basically is trying to help a what I don't know, what do they call the people that they have? An asset, maybe an
An
asset. They call
asset.
them,
Yeah.
trying to help an asset. It goes wrong. All these guys come in and try to force him to leave, and it ends up fighting them. And it turns out to be a bit of a karate film. I was like, wow, my man's doing karate, fighting,
Fisticuffs.
breaking bones. I'm like, he's beating everyone up, and he's calm as well. When someone's calm, a bit like how remember how Jet Li was calm in that circle when they
Yes.
were all there. He was
Yeah.
calm and just he knew he can beat everyone up. And I thought,
Yeah.
okay. And then it goes back to spy again. You don't really get much
Yeah.
fighting. It turns so you do get a bit of everything in this film. And I think you're right in that. I wouldn't call it a massively, like a massively like a massive classic because at some parts of it, it gets I don't know the decision making is a bit sometimes off. I think, and
Absolutely.
towards I don't want to spoil it too much because I do think it's worth seeing because I think it's good to find films that are not from also always the Western perspective
Yeah.
because the Western perspective will always paint the enemy to be these people, that people, that people. And in this film, I guess it does a little bit, but we're seeing it from another perspective that isn't totally Western. So it's interesting. I'll be really interested to find a film that is maybe Russian and who they see the enemy to be, or
Exactly.
someone else. I really want to see a film like that as well, but we don't really get those kind of films. So it's interesting. But yeah, there's
It is.
been the end was a bit of a show sometimes, like some of
There
the
was just so many things
show
going on, and then there was this kind of
tons
Mexican standoff that happens, and then everyone gets shot, and then
elaborate,
yeah,
but
really,
yeah,
really elaborate. And then there's a massive big fight scene going on. It goes on for a long, long time. And I'm thinking, hang on, he should be dead. Like he shouldn't
oh,
be
come
walking.
on,
And then
again,
like his brains should be blown out.
oh,
And
come
so
on, yeah,
so it talk about there's melodrama, and I think Korean cinema or Korean film and TV, I think is known for that melodrama as well. Kind of
okay.
those sideways glances and the things that's kind of unsaid. There's a romance plot line in this as well. But one thing that I did want to mention though was just thing about the North and South Korea,
Mm,
North Korea.
mm,
Even to this day, Deval, they considered each other enemies, even
yep,
though they're like one and the same.
yep, yep, yep.
They still kind of,
Mm,
uh, they hate each other. There is this kind of line of control that they can't go
mm,
over and everything. So there is that in that plays obviously, but yeah, there's an action bit at the beginning. Then
mm,
there's the kind of the drama bit, and then there's one massive long action bit,
mhm.
and it kind of ties it all in. But the point I guess that I'm trying to make here is that even someone on the other side who's the enemy, they have a story as well.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Perspective is key.
Perspective is
Yeah,
key.
you only
So
see one side.
you only ever get to see one side, and so it's interesting in that regards. But yeah, it's on Netflix. Go check it out. You may it'd be interested just to get your thoughts, Flixters, and just see what you think,
Mm,
whether or not you liked it. So that is our main film review. We want to keep it nice and short. I just want to spend 5 minutes speaking about this hidden gem. I don't generally do a lot of hidden gems, but this one, someone mentioned this to me, and I thought, oh, I really can't. It sounds interesting. It's they gave me kind of a bit of a synopsis, and then I was like, okay, let me go out and watch this movie. This is called Dust Bunny, and the reason that I went out and watched this is because it stars our friend Mads Mikkelson.
this one. Yeah.
So Mads Mikkelson, Deval, I know, a lot of people know he's a gangster. This guy
Mm.
is really, really good. He's done Bond, he's done kind of drama, he's
Star
done Marvel,
Wars.
Star Wars. He's just got this face where he doesn't really have to say much, but his face says a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And in this movie, it's kind of a bit. I wouldn't say like a down out comedy, but it's got some comedic elements in there. But it's definitely a fantasy action movie. So in Dust Bunny, Mads Mikkelsen plays an assassin. He plays a contract killer, and he doesn't have a name in the movie. He's just called Resident 5B because that's the flat that he lives in. And opposite his flat is a young girl called Aurora, who's brilliantly played by an actress called Sophie Sloane. I don't know if she's kind of done any other acting before. It's got Sigouney Weaver in it. It's got David Dastmalchian,
Mm-hmm.
and it's got Sheila Atim, who's this British actress we've seen before. We've seen her in a couple of things actually.
Yeah, I think she showed up in the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I think.
She did. She
I think
showed.
so.
She showed up in that one, and she's done kind of other things as well. Um, so, if you can imagine Leon the Professional, Duval,
Yep.
and if you can imagine a Wes Anderson movie, what do Wes Anderson movies look like?
Crazy, wild, just wacky, just
Wacky,
yeah,
the colors. He's got
yeah.
these mad colors. Well, imagine if Wes Anderson directed a Hitman movie, this would be
Mm,
it. The colors in this movie are absolutely mad, like almost like kind of Tim Burton esque. So it's very,
mm,
very quirky, very, very zany. It's not your typical kind of action movie, but in this movie, um, Sophie, the young girl, she's played by, her character's called Aurora. She has a monster living under her bed, or she thinks
what?
she has a monster living under a bed. She
Okay.
hires Mads Mikkelson to kill the monster, but in the real world, Mads Mikkelson really is killing monsters who are human beings. So he's
Ah.
so he's basically killing kind of like people. He's paid to kind of be a killer,
Mm,
and Sigourney Weaver plays his handler. And so
okay.
she sees him. She finds out. The young girl finds out what Mads Mikkelsen does. She sees him killing like a whole bunch of people one night, and she's like, "Hey, I've got a monster living under my floorboards. I'm paying you to kill him." And her parents have been killed. Her parents are dead, so she's a loner. She's basically an orphan, and then they have this kind of quirky relationship. And this is the whole thing what I said about Leon the Professional, because remember
Mm.
in Leon the Professional we had Jean Reno and we had what's
Natalie
her name,
Portman.
Natalie Portman, and they have this kind
Mm,
of father daughter relationship, and this is
mm.
kind of like that as well. So it's quirky. It's you're not going to be expecting it. Is there a monster that lives under the? You do see a monster, but is it real? Is it not real? I'm not going to spoil it.
Why is it called Dust Bunny? Is there something to it, or can you can't spoil it?
I can't. Well, no, I can't spoil it because
Okay.
it's to do with the monster.
Okay. All right.
It's to do with one. But the point I'm trying to make is it's a movie. It was the budget of this movie was like about $5 or $6 million.
Oh wow. Okay.
I don't think there's going to be enough people that go out and watch it. Hence
Mm,
why it's a hidden gem. So
okay.
if I can kind of like spread the word, and maybe someone goes out, watches it, downloads it or whatever, and kind of gets it on streaming or whatever, then brilliant. It's quirky, it's fun, the colors are amazing, the production design is brilliant. And this relationship between Mads Mikkelsen and the young girl and Sigourney Weaver, I haven't seen her have this much fun in a movie in years.
Probably since what's that space film that they did? It was like Star Trek, but it was taking a piss out of like
Oh,
Star Trek.
Spaceballs, Oddballs, or
Space,
something.
no, it wasn't. No, it
No,
was. It was not
with
Starship
Tim
Troopers.
Robert. No, with Tim.
Yes, yeah. You know the film I'm talking
I know
about.
what I'm talking about. It's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
that. She plays the handler. She plays Mads
Okay,
Mikkelsen's handler, and she's like,
okay.
"Listen, you got to kill the girl. She knows
Galaxy
too
Quest.
much." Galaxy Quest. That was it.
Quest,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Galaxy Quest. Brilliant. And yeah, so she's kind of like has her own ulterior motives as well. So you got all these assassins. David
Mm,
Dasmalchian, he plays an assassin. So there's all these kind of quirkiness going on, and like if you've seen Wes Anderson movie, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So it's a hidden gem. I don't
mm,
think a lot of people are gonna watch it, but if you got the time, it's only an hour and a half. It's worth a watch.
mm. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you sold it to me. You sold it to me.
Yeah, man. So for our
Mm,
Flixters out there, you got to watch it, find it, download it, whatever you got to do. Just go out there and watch it.
okay,
It's
all
called
right.
Dust Bunny. All right, listen, Devaldo, that's the end of the episode.
End of the show for today. But you know what? This month is looking decent. This month is
Hmm.
looking decent from what I see. I mean, we've got Michael coming out this April. We got
Yeah.
Undertone coming out this April.
Yes.
We've got obviously I think Mario's already come out. I'm
That's
not
our
sure if we'll see that, but yeah, Mario's already come out. Galaxy, whatever they call it.
movie. Yeah.
That's already out. So this month is looking. I think these Mother Mary's out in a
Yes,
week or
Mother
so as well.
Mary. Yep.
Yeah, Lee Cronin's Mummy's out as well.
We got a
So
few. I think
yeah,
for me, I'm going to go check out Undertone
yeah,
next week. That's going to be coming out.
mm,
So yeah, we'll see what's going on with that one.
yeah, definitely. Okay. So I guess till next week. We'll see you then. Peace out.